Morning, everybody. So I got a message there the other day from a Romanian fan. He was asking if I could discuss what happened Friday night in Bucharest at the Goodbye to Gravity concert. And in case you guys have been living under a rock or you don't know what happened, there was an incident where the band was playing and some pyrotechnics were released and something caught fire and there was only one exit. It was an absolute tragedy. I think 27 people were killed and over 150 people were seriously injured. Like, some of them were extremely severely burned. They're expecting more deaths because of that. It's an absolute freaking real life horror story. It's an total tragedy, and it's just, what do you say to that other than I am absolutely so very sorry to everybody who lost loved ones in that fire. It should have never happened. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the aftermath of that and how we can hopefully help fix that and prevent that from happening again. One thing that this friend he wrote me, he said, Romania is a fairly religious country, and actually they're pretty strictly Christian, and apparently quite a few of the fundamentalists are kind of gloating about what happened at this concert. Here's a quote from one guy.
In my opinion, Goodbye to Gravity is a Satanist band that through their musical album, The War Mantras, and through their song, The Day We Die, attracted the wrath and curse of God upon all of those that came to the event.
I just want to be very clear here. There was no God, there was no Satan, there was no supernatural retribution for that concert whatsoever. It was a serious oversight in fire safety. And to that asshole who's exploiting people's superstitions for his own profit, I'm just like to say, hey buddy, go fuck yourself, we're on to you. But I do want to talk a little bit about fire safety and surviving shows, because I've seen this happen before. Stampedes do happen, unfortunately. They happen at concerts, and they happen even at religious get-togethers. I mean, there was a stampede at the Hajj in Mecca earlier this year where a couple hundred people were killed. It happens. So it really comes down to being aware of your surroundings. I mean, for me anyway, my experience with rock concerts and stampedes goes all the way back to the third grade for me. I think I was like 77, 78, somewhere around there. There was a Who concert in Cincinnati where it was general seating, meaning the faster you got in, the better the seat you got. And some idiot put one door open to air the place out, and there was a stampede and people were killed, and it was just a big tragedy. And that left a real deep impact on me because, again, I was about 8 years old. And of course, there was the issue there with the Station concert in the US where Great White played and there was a fire and a stampede. And here we are, the same thing all over again. So the thing I'd like to remind people is when you go to a concert, make sure there's more than one exit and make sure you know where those other exits are. Apparently, the concert in Romania was in an old shoe factory, in the basement of an old shoe factory, and apparently there was only one way in and out, as far as we know. In contrast with the Station concert, there were actually 3 entrances there. Most people didn't know about it, though. There was a stage door, there was the main door, and then there was a kitchen door. When everybody ran for the main door, most of the regulars exited out the kitchen door. Bear in mind, if the bar has a kitchen of some sort, chances are there's going to be a door in that kitchen. I'd also like to know that don't panic, because one of the members of Great White did panic and forgot he came in through the stage door and ran for the main door and got caught up in the stampede and was killed in the fire. So don't panic if a fire breaks out at a gig. And try and remember which way you came. Yes, again, a stage door. And again, most places will have more than one entrance and exit. I don't know what the fire codes are like in Eastern Europe, especially Romania. Apparently the fire codes are fairly lax, but I'd like to say to bands and fans, no concert is worth dying for. If you go to a show, make sure there is more than one exit. If there is not more than one exit, don't go to that show. It's not worth dying over. Doesn't matter if the band's got pyrotechnics or not. 2 exits makes a lot more sense than 1 exit and can wind up saving your ass. Again, a little personal experience here. I used to hang out at a club in Detroit called Harpo's. I went and saw a lot of great shows there. It was kind of like Detroit's own version of the Mos Eisley Cantina. You know, you would never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. That was pretty much Harpo's. But, you know, we got to see amazing bands there. I saw Sepultura there. I saw Testament there. I saw, you know, Halford, Anthrax, all kinds of amazing bands. Anyway, I went to go see Type O Negative there one night with a good buddy of mine, Greg, from Detroit. And on our way over to that show, he was explaining to me how all the local Detroit bands were at, quote unquote, war with each other. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, Greg, let's go to the fucking show. So we get to the show, and sure enough, one of the rival bands are there with all their friends. So it's just me and Greg. And all these guys come up and start threatening Greg and shit. And there's about, I don't know, about 15 of them. And there's just me and him. So that's wonderful. Anyway, they finish their discussion and walk off. And my buddy Greg leans over to me and says, yeah, they're kind of standing by the exit there. And they're waiting for us to leave. We might not make it out of here without getting our asses kicked. And I'm like, oh, really? Are they over by that exit over there? And he looks at me, what? I said, yeah, there's an exit right over there. We can leave right there. They'll never see us leave. And he looks at me like for a second and he's like, we can use that? Well, yeah, it's marked exit. Why wouldn't we be able to? So we exited out the side door. We were long gone before they even knew we left. So yeah, avoided getting our asses kicked. That that's where knowing where the other exits in a bar can really save your ass. Just in retrospect, I don't even know what that dispute was about, and I think the hatchet was buried eventually. It's kind of funny to look at these days, but my buddy Greg was pretty fucking worried there for a minute. I was just like, no, let's just go out the other way. And yeah, problem solved. So if you're in a band and you're touring, please inspect where you are playing that night. If there is only one entrance, don't do the show. Same for fans. If there's only one entrance, don't do the show, because that's what happens. People can, if there's an emergency, people will stampede, and then no one will ever make it out. Another great example was a show locally here. It was definitely over capacity, and it was a basement club, and the place is definitely old. So I'm thinking, yeah, you know what? I'm going to stand just outside the door here and watch the show from there, because I figure if there's a stampede, they're going to need somebody on the other side of this door to help haul people out. So I even told my friends, yeah, all I could think about was that station thing. I'm thinking, if there's a fire, people are going to fucking die. There were 2 exits, but I'm not even too sure how many people knew about the second exit in that place. And about Sepultura, you know, I saw them about a year after that incident I had at Harpo's. I saw them there. And I estimate they had about 1,000 people too many in that place. And I'm just thinking about that Who concert and thinking, if there's a stampede, people are going to fucking die. So I just kind of stood by the exit all night and enjoyed the hell of the show. Sepultura, that was on the Chaos AD tour. They were fucking magnificent that night, by the way. And had a really great time. Fortunately, you know, there weren't any incidents or whatnot. But when you've got several thousand people in a concert facility that need to get out in a hurry, it's best to know your exits and know some alternate exits in case there is a stampede, so you can get your ass out of there in one piece. So if you are going to a show, and especially if it's a new place, make sure to scope out where the exits are. You know, your friends might laugh at you, but it's far better to get laughed at by your friends than to go home in a body bag. You know, especially if somebody overlooked some basic fire regulations. Anyway, please take care of yourself, guys. Cheers.